What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba for Tuesday, the 18th. And of course, tomorrow is a holiday, so expect some quiet trade. Right now, the markets have had a little bit of action, but the volume is way off, and there isn't a hell of a lot to do. As we watch it here, you've got the indexes, which are relatively mixed right now, with the Russell and Russell Dow and Nasdaq slightly lower. S&P slightly higher. Crude oil is charging higher again. And of course, we all saw that huge rally yesterday, which took us into pretty significantly overbought conditions. Okay. And again, this goes back to what we talk about all the time. I've already sold some spreads for today, some call spreads that expired today. Again, remember, tomorrow is a holiday. So I don't know what the action is going to be like today. It hasn't been all that busy, but yesterday you did see the potential of the same pattern we look for on the short-term charts appear on a daily. Okay. Remember, we look for the blow-off on heavy volume. Okay. On the short term, well, here's that same volume spike, which is the biggest volume day in the last 10 days, and a blow off to the upside into overbought conditions. So that would give you an inclination that we might be looking for an opportunity to sell. Okay, we might be looking for a short position. Now, again, I'm not telling you that we're going straight down, and I'm not telling you that we're reversing, but you would expect some natural reversion to the mean. Again, all we're looking at when we look at these charts like this is a probability model. Okay, there's nothing, there's no predictions, there's nothing looking in the forward. But what we do understand is that when markets do get significantly overbought or oversold, there is a high probability that they're going to have at worst some mean reversion. And as you look at the S&P and you look at the Nasdaq, now the Nasdaq, although it made a new high yesterday, did not have that blow-off formation. Okay, so again, it's something that we're looking at as a movement and something that we might be looking to do something with. I'm just going to go back and make sure that we're not missing any potential. Our trade from the other day turned out to be a winner. Okay. And so did our spreads. So again, we continue to, play probability. That's all we're looking for in our opportunities. And as we look at the overall markets, Apple, very overbought, should have a little bit of a pullback. And if you remember, last Thursday, we had the same conversation and had a pullback on Friday. Okay. So again, remember, you're not looking to strike gold here. You're looking to grind out profits. This is something that we want to be on a regular basis, learning to grind it out. Okay. Because that's what we're in business for, is to make profit. Okay. In the meantime, I would have no problem selling call spreads in Apple up in here. Now, again, you may want to wait till after the holiday, because they're already just taking out the time decay for tomorrow. Okay, so you're not getting a bargain by getting a closed day. The market already knows that the day is closed. Okay, so it's already accounted for that. Amazon, dead middle in the mean. Now, if you remember, last week, we thought that Amazon was a potential sell of call spreads, but we did warn and say, hey, there's a lot of news coming out. Maybe we don't want to do it. So I never tell you a trade that you should do unless I've done it myself or I'm going to do it myself. Okay. And I did say I probably would not do it but again, what I'm more concerned about that you're understanding and learning is what happens and what should happen from there. Okay. Coin, again, got it very much up to the overbought condition, came right back down to the mean. Okay. Now we're looking to find some support, but from the type of trading we're talking about doing right now, there is no trade to make. Okay. I added crowd because of what's going on. And of course, I did not do well with crowd last week, but I will be looking for another opportunity, but I want to see more volume show up. But again, it remains overbought, and I would suspect that it's going to come back down to the 350 level before this is all said and done. Meta, look at what happened. Okay. Now Meta broke out to the upside out of that little tight range we talked about. Remember, I'm on a different set of charts. That's why you don't see the same lines that you usually see, because I'm in Chicago, not in Las Vegas right now. But we exploded to the upside. Okay. Came down. Okay. and certainly had an opportunity. Now, basically, not much to do. Now you sit back and wait. You should have, if you made that type of trade, you've made your money. Now you sit back and wait for the next opportunity. Again, one of the keys of the business is the patience that it takes to be successful, because a no trade or a decision to make no trade is the same as making a trade. Google, kind of in the middle, got a little bit overbought. Again, this would have been tenuous at best. So again, it's not like, some of them are obvious of ones you should do. And if they're not clear to you, then they're probably trades you shouldn't be making. Remember, you don't have to trade every minute of every day. So if you sit back and you wait patiently for your opportunity, then you'll see many more opportunities. Because even in our little look here, you had a perfect opportunity this morning, okay, even now probably, to sell some put spreads in the Russell or in the IWM. Why? Because again, it very oversold. The market figures to have a little bit of retracement, okay, and again, that's what you're looking for, and those are the opportunities that you're looking for. Let's just go back and see if there's anything else happening while we're chit-chatting away here. Not really enough, okay? Not really enough of where we really want to get heavily involved here. Again, you want to remember that we don't always have to be we don't always have to be active. We can wait, and I don't see any real great opportunity in a light, thinly traded day. So we'll come back. We'll see if something shows. We're ready to trade it. If it doesn't show, then we're not going to trade it. Moderna, very oversold, and I would suggest that you may want to look at selling some put spreads in here, because you're more than likely going to get a retracement. You've had a pull down from 170 down to 138. I mean, to 132. So again, you might get that opportunity, okay, to make a trade, okay, and that's something that you have to, focus on, is where do your opportunities come from? Microsoft, very overbought, okay, and again, certainly an opportunity in here, and probably looking at like selling the 445, 450 or something of that nature. Again, I think, you have to start to look, and then you have to determine the amount of risk you want to expose yourself to, okay? Because this is the things that we do as traders, is focusing on the potential opportunities that arise. NVIDIA, again, really not getting closer to that overbought position once again, but not dramatic. Nothing I'd like to get overly involved in. Okay, the Qs certainly, and I've already sold the 485, 487 call spreads today myself earlier. Okay, so again, that's what I'd be looking at, to be a seller into this, because again, I'm going to make the assumption that there's going to be some reversion of the mean. And the reason that we're doing it in the way of selling spreads is because this allows us to limit our risk. It also limits our profit, but it allows us to make small winning trades, to accumulate capital, so that when we do get busy, it gives us a better opportunity to trade. And I think this is something that you have to remember your cause and why you're trading. You're trading to make money. Okay. So making small profits, adding on to small gains brings in profit. Okay. Small profits add up to bigger profits. So if you continue to do the same things over and over again, and you find these other opportunities while you're waiting for the markets to get busy, okay, it gives you a chance to build your bankroll, build your capital. Okay. Square, probably a pretty good idea to sell some put spreads down here. Okay. Once again, we've got a stock that's been pretty much down and beaten into oblivion. So certainly you would look for a little bit of a pop. SPY, same as the S&P. Okay. Very much overbought. And of course, yesterday wasn't quite at the same as volume as the future was. Okay. So again, excuse me, we do have a triple witching week coming up. So that's something that you're looking at and something that you're looking to take advantage of or take opportunity of. But when we're using the 0DT options, the 0 day to expiration options, we can get away with a lot more things. We don't have to worry about that the spiders go ex dividend on Friday. Okay. As long as we're out by Thursday, it doesn't really matter. Okay. Tesla had a nice little pop yesterday. Look at exactly what we talk about all the time. It got overbought and is now pulling back a little bit. When oversold, is now trying to rally a little bit. Okay. And Zoom, very oversold. You can expect a bounce somewhere in here. And again, this is what I'm trying to share with you is the opportunities that can arise if you continue to mind the chart and mind the business and understand that you're really not trading your opinion of what's going on in the news, but you're trading a probability model. Okay. And again, that's all we're looking at. Every trade we make, okay, as a trade is always based on the probability of an event occurring. Okay. So right now, I mean, again, none of these are really tradable on a short-term basis, but if I were to guess, I would say there's probably a higher probability of a rally from here. This has got no idea from here. It's kind of making a little bit of a diamond here. Here, this is a straight consolidation. So I don't see any probability edge here. Same thing here. Okay. Here, I would have expected a little bit of a bounce. Like, these aren't trades I would necessarily make, but one of the things you want to learn is you want to learn to start to make some assumptions based on what you're seeing. Okay. And at least practicing. Okay. And that's what I would always recommend you do. Okay. Is to put yourself in a position. Okay. All the time. And that's what you're trying to do. So you're trying to look and make certain assumptions. Okay. Based on what the chart is doing. Now, again, these don't create trades for me because it's not busy enough for me to want to make trades. Okay. But as I'm looking, my expectation, for example, on the S&P would be probably a little bit of a bounce. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be a big bounce or a profitable bounce. All I can look at is that I'd be looking for a potential bounce. But for me to trade it, I would need the volume and everything else to go along with it. So I think that that's one of the mistakes that too many of us make is we try to forecast and predict what the market will do when certainly all we really have to do is look at what the probability is and play the probability model, okay? Because more often than not, those probabilities are going to come into play, okay? And that's something that you have to always recognize is that if you allow the probabilities to play out, you're putting yourself in a much higher position of success, okay? And that's all we're trying to do. So you now see out of this consolidation, crude is trying to break to the upside. Well, we'll see. I mean, if I wouldn't make this trade, but based on this chart, my assumption is it's not going to break out here. It's probably going to come back down to the bottom end of the range again. Okay. And as we said, here you can see that we thought gold might pop. There it's popping a little bit. Okay. These are kind of hovering. So again, it's not always the trade you make. Sometimes it's the trades you analyze and the trades you don't make. Okay. And that's something. Okay. Hold on a second. And that's what you have to always keep in focus and in mind, okay, is to how are you going to put yourself in the best possible position to create success. So as we look, we can see that we're not getting any volume, so this is nothing, but certainly I might expect a little bit of resistance to come into play here. Here we're still waiting for it to break. Here this is holding, and as you can see, we said these should hold and maybe rally a little bit. Now again, I didn't tell you that these were automatic profit opportunities. I said that these were areas that you would be watching. Okay. And this is where I'd be looking. If I had the other qualifications that I wanted to see in this trade, I would probably have been a buyer. Now I didn't make the trade. You're here with me. I'm not making any trades right now. Okay. But this is what you're looking for because you're trying to identify, which is why we use not only a long-term time frame and we use a short-term time frame to go ahead and trigger a trade that we might make. And that is always the key, is the ability to trigger the trade. But today is very quiet, and it's not a surprise. I mean, it is summer. It is a holiday tomorrow. I don't expect a lot to happen today. Now, certainly it could. I didn't expect that monster rally yesterday either. So, but overall, when there's a lack of market participants, that also means that there's a lack of true opportunity to trade. Okay. And when markets are very quiet, you have to be able to sit back and wait. Okay. And that is something that we have to recognize, that patience will give you a much better opportunity and a much better chance to be successful. Okay. So again, as we take a quick look back, as you can see, I thought that this might be some resistance, and it is failing a little bit. Again, like I said, these aren't necessarily trades, but what you're trying to teach yourself is the ability to read the chart and chart recognition. Okay. So, I mean, if I were to look at this, I would say this was resistance. I'm going to say that this is going to make a pretty big move one way or the other. I don't know which way. Okay. I don't really have a guidance here. We're hovering. Looks like we're trying to break out of a consolidations and then go up and maybe create a new uptrend. We'll see. Okay, this is just breaking out a little bit. And you can see that we're holding these bottoms that we thought. And I think that's something that you have to remember to control and put yourself in the best possible position at all times, because that is what trading is about. It's about being on the side of probability. It is being on the side of opportunity. And if you do that on a regular basis, then you will give yourself a chance for success. I am going to cut this a couple minutes short today because I got another problem I have to deal with, and it is a holiday tomorrow anyways. There's nothing going on. So everybody have a great holiday or whatever. I'll see you back here Thursday for our normal show. In the meantime, have a great couple of days, and we'll see you back here Thursday morning.
Thanks for watching. Please be sure to take some time to read the disclaimer. Thank you.